We're doing a little bit of some modifications, some upgrades to our little tiny camper. Check it out, it's nice and secure on there.
We recently discovered that we had ants in our camper.
There she is. I'd say that's pretty disgusting.
Before we show you how we replaced this air conditioner, we gotta tell you, it was a lot of work. There was lots of sweat and mold involved, so we needed real fuel, and we got it.
Check that out. So Javy is not paying us to review this product or anything. They just sent this to us for free, so our review is gonna be completely unbiased
and honest.
And you guys know that we love a good cup of coffee, and you guys know that the afternoon I like to have a nice iced coffee, especially while we do this project because it is hot out here in Florida. We live in our tiny camper and we need some easy stuff.
You can make this coffee hot or cold. Both work just as good.
We're adding in some creamer along with our 1 to 2 teaspoons of our Javy microdose coffee, and then we're gonna just add just a little bit of water to it as well. And our creamer's already sweetened, so it has a nice little sweetness to it. Alright, let's let Amber try this.
We whipped this coffee up in a minute or so.
Not even.
Mmm.
Is it good?
It is. I would like less cream. Oh, it's nice. Mmm. So convenient.
Tastes awesome.
Still 29 more cups in this bottle.
We have a link down below if you guys want to check it out and try it for yourselves if you think it's good for your lifestyle. Super easy way to make a quick cup of coffee, whether you're at work, you live on the road, you live in a tiny camper in our case.
Okay, I'll have some more now.
We're doing a little bit of some modifications, some upgrades to our little tiny camper. It's time.
We recently discovered that we had ants in our camper.
Got some ants in the camper. Ants in the camper.
Immediately led us to doing a really deep clean. And in that deep clean, we took off some of the backboarding panel that we put up and assessed the situation.
We're actually at my sister's house right now. I'm gonna be heading to Texas to drive my little sister to her new home in Texas, so that'll be fun. But we have a couple days of just chill downtime, and we are doing some work on the tiny camper. Like Amber said, when we did some inspection, we found out where some of the ants are coming from. We also decided that it's just time to change out the AC unit. That thing is old. It's almost 10 years old. It does us good, but the only choice that we have is to have it blasting cold. Even from the time we've gotten this camper, it's either blasting cold or nothing at all. It's a, you know, a minimal amount of money, and it's really actually worth it. We've never done this before. We didn't know what we were getting into. We're gonna take it apart and see what we find. The first thing that I did is cut this silicone around it. So there's like a silicone. There's also some of this foam backing that was underneath it, and I got all of that out to allow for some space so we can just get it out of here. And the way that I dismounted this thing, I'll show you. So there's this top rail on the AC, and there was only 2 little screws that were keeping this thing in, which seemed to be actually pretty secure, surprisingly. But then we have this like felt lined wood or something that's around it, and unfortunately there's some wood rot that's underneath there, which we probably had a good idea that that was under just a little bit of wood rot. So while we're trying to push it out, it's actually pushing this thing out too, which I have a plan for if we need to fix that up. So now we're gonna try to push this out. So you want to try to pull it in, and then I'll try to push it out. Be careful, be careful. There she is. I'd say that's pretty disgusting. And we'll show you the hole that's there that we're gonna spend some time to clean up. But I'm gonna get this out of here right now so it doesn't get all over our bed. There it is. There's the hole. So we're gonna get all this old silicone off right here. Clean this all up. So.
Broom.
So these 2 pieces were so rotted. It's just like wood covered in felt. Looks like just plywood. So I got some pieces of oak, and I'm just gonna put them there. We're gonna seal them up with some paint, but for the most part, we shouldn't have any water intrusion at all right here. Then we're gonna pop in that new AC. That sucker is in there. That was a doozy. That was not easy at all. So even though the actual dimensions of it are the same, the cover on the back of the AC that covers the compressor and stuff, it was bigger. It was bigger, so we had to modify. All of the little wood pieces that I put in fell off, so there's still some gaps in there, but we're gonna have to continue this tomorrow. We're cleaning up. At least we have an AC in there tonight so we can sleep in it, because even when we're at our family's houses, we sleep in this thing. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have done that again. I would have gotten an exact model replacement. I would have got the Frigidaire that was originally in there, and I'll show you what I had to do to actually fit it in. Me and Amber were like shaking our heads at one point, but luckily we did it. We did it, and now we have a nice new AC unit in there. I'm gonna have to fix around the frame and do some more work around there just to make it nice and clean looking, and no gaps, and fill in all the cracks. So there's like this molding around it, and I had to cut some of that. I just used a folding saw that I had, and I just cut it. And so there's some gap in there, but we'll fill that up with some, I have some foam, and I'll put some silicone all over it, super thick on there. Make sure that's nice and sealed up. I'll show you the inside because that thing is looking rough right now. Oof. But the AC unit actually looks really nice, really sleek. So hopefully the end result will be pretty. We'll do another coat of paint on all of our cubbies, and hopefully that's it. But as you can see, all this frame completely came off. I'm gonna put some more wood, and I'll put some wood filler in there, and I'll also, you know, put silicone around it on the back so it's completely flush. But I'll get a nice piece of molding or something and put it around the whole perimeter of the AC unit. That's all for today. We're gonna finish up tomorrow because I gotta do that. Like I said, I'm gonna be going to Texas, so gotta get this baby cleaned up and ready for the road whenever I come back. Here we go, day 2. Right now what I'm gonna do is just fit a nice little frame around the AC unit on the inside, seal up the outside, clean it all, do a nice paint so it's all sealed because there's obviously wood rot in there, maybe some mold, I don't know. We're gonna clean it up and then seal it up. Gonna try to make it as pretty as we can. So that's the project for today, and then we're gonna touch up some paint on this thing. But the AC unit replacement is a little bit more work than I had anticipated. If you can get an actual exact replacement of the AC unit, if you have one of these campers, I would suggest doing that, trying to look online and see if you can find it. I went to 2 big stores, and they didn't have much of an option, even though it's summertime. So, you know, I took what I can get, and luckily we made it work. This is what I did. I ended up doing like a teal little wood frame. These are just some pieces of oak that I put some teal paint on, and I cut them to size. And the cord I couldn't figure out what to do with it. I wanted to kind of hide it a little bit, but I decided it's not that big of a deal. If I just have it, I'm gonna use these little coax cables. I'm gonna use these little coax cables and just pin them along and then just paint it so it's camouflaged a little bit better. But actually I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. I'm not happy with this. The reason why is I had to put this huge plug through there. Well, I had these paddle drill bits, so I used those, and it just completely annihilated that wood. It like just ate right through it. I was using this power drill. That thing was super strong. It's okay, I'll just paint it, not a big deal. Again, just happy to have a new AC unit because feeling cool while we're sleeping is like #1 priority. And honestly, I think it looks kind of cool. It looks better than it did, I think. This project is requiring a lot of iced coffees, no hot coffee because it's blazing out here. Currently have a nice breeze coming through here, and it feels amazing. I gotta say, I feel pretty proud of us for doing this AC unit. It has really been bugging me the last few weeks, and I can't believe that we did it. And it actually looks really nice. I'm super happy with it. Sometimes when you're in the process of working on something, you can just see everything that's going wrong. It's so dirty, it's a mess, but I've cleaned everything up now, vacuum it down, and it looks super nice. Just gotta get the foam for our foam backboard. I'll show you guys that. I have to kind of modify that a little bit, so I'm gonna modify that so it'll fit back in there. In an effort to be a little more minimalist, I got rid of that big utility box that we had on the front of our front trailer rack, and I got a small, it's actually a DeWalt toolbox style, just to have a little more space on that rack. I wanted to fit a couple other things on there. When we hit the road again, I don't want to be storing anything on the inside of the camper, so if we pull over we can hop right in, just be more accessible and easier on the road to be able to jump in our camper and sleep for the night, not even have to set anything up. So hopefully utilizing that rack a little bit more. That meant taking out a couple things that we had on there, but nothing too crucial. I will show you guys this toolbox, but I used to bungee down the utility box that I had in the front, and to get anything out of there I'd have to take the bungee cords off, and I had a tarp wrapped around it because it was not waterproof and I didn't want any water to get in there. So it was kind of a hassle to get into that box. So this box is actually, the new box is waterproof, so I want to use some U-bolts and actually bolt it to the rack so nobody can just take off with it and we don't have to bungee cord it. So to do this, I'm gonna have to drill into the bottom of this. That was pretty easy. That was really easy. Definitely didn't crack. That stuff is some tough material. Check it out. It's nice and secure on there. It's not going anywhere. Nobody's running off with it. And then I just put one U-bolt here and one U-bolt here. But yeah, there it is. Now I'll be able to fit our Yeti if we need it, and then we have a water jug that goes right there too. For any of you who've never seen our tiny camper modifications video, I'll link it up here, but towards the end of the video we show you guys how we made that foam board backing that surrounds our AC unit. And to replace the air conditioning unit last week, we had to take that out, obviously. So I want to show you what it looks like if you've never seen it, because it's super cute. And I mean, you could really do it in so many different kinds of applications. It doesn't have to just be in a camper. You could do it in a house or whatever. Since I put this new frame around it, it was a different size than what the original was. And these foam pieces are seriously just perfectly to size, so it just kind of fits in here with tension. And then we have some sticky Velcro stuff, and we put this on the top of it. And as you can see, there's little push pins in there, and this piece is just a cut to size piece of foam board with some pretty fabric that's been pinned around it. I cannot say that that was our creative genius. It was actually Amber's mom that came up with that idea. Super creative and super useful, and it gives it such a nice flavor in the camper. It looks so pretty.
We stopped at a gas station, and guess what we just did?
I got a bag of ice, I threw it in the Yeti, I filled up a cup, I dropped in some Javy microdose coffee, along with some creamer. Look at that. That is the real deal. It tastes so good. So currently I've been addicted to Starbucks Nitro Cold Brew, and they're like $3.50 each. If you have one of those every day, it's quite a bit of money you're spending on some coffee. So I was about to buy one. We're at a gas station right now. I was like, oh yeah, I got my Javy. Super good.
Tastes delicious. I know you expected us to cook in this video. Just hold tight. I promise we'll be cooking in our next video, not this one. This air conditioner replacement took way longer than we expected. Yep. Yeah.
We just drank a bunch of iced coffee. You guys saw us do that.
I'm hungry.
We're hungry. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We are
Honey, I Roam. Don't forget, go ahead, subscribe to our channel right now. Click the like button. Send us a comment. We always want to hear from you. We love you.
They call it a microdose coffee. I love that name, don't you?
I do. So there was mold involved. There was hiccups. Okay. Okay.
Come over here. Does that look right? Oh, yeah. Let me fix that. Can you see me? Oh my gosh, it's so bright. That's not a good angle. You live in a tiny camp. Many of you probably don't know, but I used to be a manager at a hardware store. So that means that it's a polymer, like polymer plastic, whatever coating. It's a polymer material. So that's